Annie Claff here from the PNC Digital Desk, presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. The Baltimore Orioles pick up a win at home. Here's the interim manager, Tony Mansolino.
Kremer again.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, he's been on such a roll here lately. The stuff is ticking up. It feels like every time out, there's a lot of life to the fastball. The split was sharp. He dropped in some breaking balls in the right spots. Super competitive. He's just been so good here for a while.
How happy are you with just how the team is playing? I mean, tonight just seemed like a really crisp game with nothing much to gripe about.
I mean, you got T.O. out there in the eighth inning in a 5-run game going dirt ball read. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's the stuff we're talking about. Those are the little things that winning players do and winning teams do. So, it's a 5-run lead. We're not sitting there not thinking about how to get an extra 90. We're looking to take it. And, we had some really nice base running tonight earlier in the game. Some things that we did, some backside 90s, and we were aggressive on a couple balls, and those are the things that I pay attention to. And tonight was a really good night for that.
Do you feel like the team is doing those things better now than maybe they were earlier?
Yeah, we're playing good. I'll just answer that we have played good here in a recent stretch, and I'm thrilled with how we're doing things. And we're going to have some bad nights. We're going to make some aggressive mistakes. We did some bad stuff on the bases yesterday, but I told the fellows today in our meeting, that's okay. I mean, we're going to have nights where when we're aggressive, it's going to look bad, and yesterday we had some of those moments, but it got covered up by the fact that we won 2 games, but, just from a coaching perspective, when guys make aggressive mistakes, you can't hammer them for it. You actually got to keep encouraging it if that's the style of play that you want, and that's what our staff wants, and, tonight kind of paid dividends for us.
Well, Dean's fastball hasn't necessarily been great this year, and Miami's one of the most aggressive teams in 0-0 counts, but he threw it over 75% of the time in those counts.
Yeah.
What went into that decision, and why do you think it was more effective tonight than it has been this season?
That's a good question for the pitching group. I don't do the game planning. We got some really smart guys that do it, but I would disagree with you on the fact that you said his fastball hasn't been good. It looked pretty good for me tonight, and it's looked good for me here over the last how many ever starts. What if he's thrown up a sub-3 over the last how many ever starts? It hasn't been a bad fastball, I promise you that.
When you're looking at Cabrera's sinker, you guys were all over the ball. I mean, it's 2 doubles, 2 singles. Was there anything about that pitch particularly that you guys, locked onto?
That kid's got electric stuff, and he's been really good here recently. So, your guess is as good as mine as to why we hit him tonight. My guess would be that we have really good hitters. When you roll out Jackson Holliday, Westberg to Gunnar to O'Hearn in that first inning, the way we felt about just seeing Lindor to Soto to Pete, that's probably what they felt like, seeing that in the first inning. And I think at times, because maybe our guys haven't performed up to the standards they set for themselves, maybe people don't see him that way, but it could happen real quick. That top of the lineup, and we're still missing Adley and Mountie in some ways, but that type of the lineup can have that type of aura to them if they continue on the track that they're on right now.
You've said that when Jordan's at his best, it's when he's going to the opposite field, spraying it all around, and he's been incredible since kind of coming back. How happy were you to see him with 2 opposite field singles tonight, and just how well has he been playing since he's come back?
I'm glad that you're recognizing him. He's such an unsung player to our team. We talk about Jackson and Gunnar and Adley and all these star players. Nobody talks about Westberg enough. We've said it all year. That's kind of the missing piece. And, what's interesting is my family's here, so I needed a ride home yesterday, and John Mabry gave me a ride, and that's the guy that he brought up. I said, what do you think about all this? And right away, it's Jordan Westberg. He's like, that's the guy that nobody talks about. But that's the piece. He's sitting in that kind of 2-hole right now in between the 2 lefties, and it's a heck of an at-bat. He's already got a bunch of homers. He's played 35 to 40 games. So that we don't talk about Westy enough, and he's a solid defender. And he's not even cutting it loose on the bases yet because of the sliding issue that we have with him. But that's another element to the game that he's going to bring in. You're going to look up here with these 3 guys at the top at some point soon, whether hopefully it's soon, this year or next year. But they're going to be 3 guys, Jackson, Westy, Gunnar, that if you throw it over the plate, they're going to do damage. And if you walk them, they're going to steal second. And you're going to be in a little bit of a quandary, the same way we are kind of with guys like Bobby Witt, where, be careful throwing the ball over the plate and be careful walking them because it's going to end up a double one way or another. So we're thrilled with those 3 guys right there, especially Westy.
That'll close things up here from the PNC Digital Desk, presented by PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865.